A day in the life of a UK deer manager. 4 species, 6 deer, only 1 Paul Childerley.
That's called proper hunting. The build, the excitement, and then you get the result. And that makes it all worthwhile. We'll go home smiling, that's what it's about.
Pheasant dilemma. COVID kills driven game shooting, so what to do with the survivors? We have news, we have hunting YouTube. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain.
Muntjac, buck and doe, tick. We can shoot those. Fallow, buck and doe, roe does, and what have we seen? Roe bucks. Brilliant. Good buck that was. Like to see him in April. Oh dear. See his antlers? See that around the bottom of his antlers really dry. You can tell when they're going to cast because basically the hair retracts away from the bottom of the base of the coronet of the antler before they shed. And we can talk loud and he can stand there. We can crack sticks, he can stand there, here he goes. Bye bye. We've looked this morning, haven't we? Hey?
Is that there with him?
Yeah.
You're joking.
No, not the back. Couldn't have shot her now, she's on the skyline. We never got him anyway. What? Don't say nothing. I'll leave those two. That was a prime doe. See, come together in the end.
What happened to, oh, you want it?
We're culling, David. Were you on it?
Yeah.
Of course you were.
Just.
I'll tell you for why, because everything else we saw was obviously on his toes all morning. And it was literally, we had a split second and we took it. Great.
Getting worried there.
Never worry, David. Never worry. It comes good in the end. We've still got the compartment to do yet. So.
Compartment, is that what it's known as? That's a club.
Well, it's basically blocks, isn't it? Compartments, they call them. I don't know. Right, we can't kind of that. That's the entry wound, and then it's a bit bloody, but there's the exit wound, which again I'm pretty confident that the saddle will be all good. I can feel it now. Deer dropped on the spot. Obviously it's a smaller deer, so 308 obviously it would drop on the spot, but you still got to hit them right. So like I say, it's a bit bloody, but that's what happens when you shoot them. So yeah, good animal, good condition, young doe, perfect. Yeah, so basically when you get a doe and a follower, you take the follower first. Obviously it's not dependent anymore, but it's still nice to do it that way around, so you've got that proper management rather than just shoot the first one in season you see. So, no, pleased with that, good result. Rifle done the job, bullet done the job. Let's clean it up and see what damage is done inside. Look at that, straight to the top of the heart. Took out everything, all the vitals, heart and lungs. Fantastic, missed all the green. Tricky shot really, angled shot. That's actually fragmented, gone through the shoulder and fragmented and gone into 2 holes on the side.
So just to show people where, come through.
So basically it's gone through the front shoulder there, come through at an angle, and fragmented there, 1, 2 fragmented there and gone through the 2 there.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you know, for a close range, it's not a big animal with a 162 grain bullet. It's a fair lump going through a small animal at close range. So you wouldn't expect, I wouldn't expect it to break up that much, but it has hit hard bone. You know, there's an argument both sides, but the animal dropped on the spot and the animal dead. So, as in quickly. So again, you know, very pleased. The you know, it's a good looking bullet with the green tip.
You do like pretty.
I do like this. I do like.
Keep it still.
Sorry.
Come on, keep it still. There we go.
So you got the blade.
How many have you used? How many power blades have you used on animals then?
This is the first, to be honest with you. I had a batch last year which I used on the range, probably 200-300 rounds, and they were really good, grouped really well. The thing is, unless we're going away abroad or I'm coming up to some different areas shooting some larger game, I do a lot of like fallow, muntjac and Chinese, which I tend to use the smaller calibers, just because
you like them?
I like them. I shoot well with them, but they're only doing the larger calibers at the moment, obviously because the European guys are already there with their lead free. So yeah, this is the first one, and we'll use them through the season. So we'll give them a long trial through the season. But so far they group well, and obviously we'll see what they're like the rest of today. See him? See him?
Yeah.
See him?
Yeah.
There he is. Yeah. Yep. Old Monty buck.
Is he a nice buck?
Yeah, he's a very good buck actually. Cracking buck. Very nice buck. Come in well, hasn't he? Absolutely just fired into the call straight away. Yeah. Nice buck. Quite funky with his top bit of antlers. Oh look, split lip. Oh boy, look, been fighting again.
Oh my god.
Split his bottom lip right open. These boys are just so aggressive. Look at them. Yeah, nice buck. Good condition. I was a little bit back. If you noticed, quite funny actually. I didn't want to shoot him head on because, again, with a big bullet, you're calling a small animal like this. You got a lot of meat damage with shooting them with a big caliber. So we only use sort of like 22-50s, 243s, everything small. And you can shoot them in the chest because the bullet will break up and stay in the front half of the body. But shooting with a big caliber, it just passed straight through, and you got wasted saddle, fillets, haunch, the whole lot. So I tend to wait for the turn, which is quite exciting when they're coming at you. And you're squeaking them in, they come. They never. And these bucks, older bucks, tend not to turn either. When they turn, they're on the way. So he came in well, and I gave him a little shout. He turned his head back, and where I wanted to shoot, I just couldn't, because I didn't want to hit him in the face. So I just put it back a little bit. So I was a little bit back, but it done the job. It's to the front end, probably into the middle a bit more, but again, he ran on. Again, it's an interesting thing. These bullets is a 308. So you see that road doe, twice the size of animal as this. She was quite relaxed, dropped on the spot. This boy was charged up, adrenaline was going. He thought, doe in season, or it could be another buck around, coming in aggressive, adrenaline was going, didn't see us, shot, and he just went. It'd be interesting to run open him up, see what organs are damaged. But you know, he was, you know, would you think that would take him off his feet? But no, great, good result. Good morning. So
Good recovery.
no.
2 hours of nothing.
That's called proper hunting. The build, the excitement, and then you get the result, and that makes it all worthwhile. We'll go home smiling. That's what it's about. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Right, I think that's where we got ahead. It's a nightmare of a place to go because got the road there, the wind's bad, so we're going to have a bit of a walk day. We're going to have to get up this bank, straight to the 507, along there. They're going to see us, they're going to run that way, it's going to be a nightmare, and then we'll come around the back of them and come to that hill, and yeah. That's what I think anyway. And I want to do at least another 50 before the end of November. So you've got a bit of work in front. Yeah, a lot of work in front of us. But yeah, so.
Some people think that's 50 deer. What a luxury. It's hard, isn't it?
It's great when it's beautiful weather, but when it's not going quite to plan, and it's pouring down, and you've got another job to do, and but same as any work. But so even then, I don't know, I still quite enjoy it, to be fair. Out of everything I do, I still get a buzz out of it, and still like to get the results for people, even whether it's the farmers or for the people that are shooting them. So yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Come on. Right. Is that one in the middle?
Yeah.
Entrance. Exit's going to be a bit gruesome. Yeah. Very much so. But still no meat damage, it's still clear. Yeah, 2 good ones to take out, 2 shots, 2 animals, both young does. The rest of them are dispersed, which is quite good. Nobody wants to see that many deer on the field, do they?
No.
You know. Fallow deer this evening, perfect calibre for fallow deer. So we're on the money now. So all good, we're going to head out over the back there, see if there's some field spots by one of the blocks of woodland, and then failing that we'll drop straight into the gardens, and I've had a lot of problem with muntjac and some fallow in the main garden, so which desperately need to be shot, so did a lot of damage there. So right, let's go. Yeah, you wouldn't have thought there was a deer in that little group, in that little bush. 20 deer there almost.
Every angle was rotten, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no point in risking it. Not even a chance. I mean, the house is there, house at the top, road. Yeah, they live, and so does safety first every time. Bugger. Right, okay, onward. far side. See it? Hey? Why not? Strike mark, right? There she stood. Poor light at the moment, but you can see those scuff marks of a deer that's definitely been hit. Scuff marks come through here. Again, big scuff marks here. Look, see the colour of the leaves? Just different, slightly different compared to everywhere else. Well, well, well. Pricket, fellow pricket. So, yep, happy with that. Off the sticks and the pressure. Good prick, he's recovered well, hasn't he? Really well. I'm really surprised he's recovered so well. He's got a lot. Yeah, he's right through.
He's living in a nice place.
Yeah. Very good, very pleased with that. I mean, poor light, that bullet reaction was good. We see the shot was good. We heard the crunch. I was obviously concerned because it's obviously quite late, or going towards late to shoot one. But literally the animal ran 20 yards, 25 yards and dropped down dead. So 10 out of 10 for that bullet and bullet placement, and great result.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Sacco, who would be a deer manager. Looks like hard work. Now, someone who wouldn't know a day's graft if it ran its fingers through his luxurious hair, it's David on the Fieldsports channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. MPs are set to debate banning driven grouse shooting again. The 25th of January is named as the day the Petitions Committee will discuss Wild Justice's petition called "Ban Driven Grouse Shooting, Willful Blindness is no longer an option." Snappy. It will be the first time since 2016 that MPs will formally debate the topic. It is only a Westminster Hall debate and will not lead to a vote. However, Bask is urging MPs to join the debate and vote against the damaging proposal, which would destroy rural economies, harm wildlife conservation and ruin heather moorlands. It might be veganuary, but Chris Packham has been peddling pork pies. On Twitter, the wildlife celebrity claims the National Farmers Union admits 25% of the UK will be vegan by 2025. Currently, less than 1% of the population is vegan. The NFU responded quickly with a tweet saying simply, "This is incorrect. We have not said this." After last year's firearms consultation, the government has come up with new rules. Naturally, they target law-abiding gun owners, whom officials blame for the guns that get into the hands of criminals and terrorists. Some of the new restrictions will affect owners of antique guns, which has disappointed Bask.
The fact that clarity has been imported into the law by actually, for the first time, defining what an antique firearm is in law, so that it's now a binary issue. It's either an antique or it isn't, and there's no grey area. And wherever there's clarity, there's certainty, and what you want is certainty in law.
Sabs have pounced on a Countryside Alliance document about them. The Sabs are now encouraging people to seek legal advice on whether the Alliance is keeping information about them and possibly breaking data protection rules. The document is on the Sabs new Hunting Leaks website, based outside EU rules on a server in Iceland. At the same time, Sheffield hunt saboteurs have set up a hotline for reporting shoots. You can find the number in the links below. Countryside Alliance said the leak came from the Masters of Foxhounds Association. This week's Dodgy Journalism Award goes to the Herefordshire Mercury. Reporter Josh Bolton wrote a dramatic piece about dog walkers finding dead deer in a field. He reported the hunt saboteurs line that the animals had been killed by hunters and just dumped. Later, a local birdwatcher came forward to say the deer had been run over and he'd put them out to feed birds of prey. Sabs still insists hunters were involved. Josh Bolton was unavailable for interview. Police are appealing for help after 2 guns were stolen from a shooter murdered in Essex. 83-year-old Donald Ralph was found dead at his home in Eldham on the 29th of December. The guns are a self-loading Ruger 22 rimfire and a Browning 12-bore shotgun. Police believe the guns have been sold on and are asking anyone who may have any information. A 28-year-old man and a 16-year-old boy are facing murder charges. A former Stormont minister has hit out at the police service of Northern Ireland over guns. The PSNI introduced a new fee of £30 to be paid by firearms licence holders if they want to keep extra ammunition magazines for their guns. The DUP's Mervyn Storey says it's an unjustified tax. The plan is also criticised by traditional Unionist voice leader Jim Allister. Police currently refuse to climb down. They say the fee is part of a 2004 firearms and explosive branch policy and it will not be enforced retroactively. Basque has welcomed the reversal of a ban on shooting during lockdown. On the 6th of January 2021, shooters were resigned to the new coronavirus lockdowns, stopping most UK recreational shooting for the rest of the season. However, the Anglers of England negotiated an exemption for their sport on the 7th of January, and later in the day, the shooters in England did the same. We can now go rough shooting, wildfowling and recreational deer stalking. The rule changes do not apply to Wales.
We're asking people to be mindful of the mood of the nation at the moment. Some people are living under really strict lockdown conditions, and we're asking people who are out shooting to be sensitive to that. You know, we don't want to damage shooting's reputation, and we don't want to do anything that brings shooting into disrepute.
Deer numbers have hit a 1,000-year high, according to the Guardian newspaper. The paper blames low venison prices during the lockdown for a drop in deer management and says herds are threatening woodlands and important wildlife habitats across Britain. It estimates the number of deer at about 2 million. The closure of restaurants during lockdowns is a major factor. The paper quotes Basque's Martin Edwards warning of a massive increase in spring if there's no cull now. Is this Ireland's biggest fox? Fieldsports Channel viewer Jim Burns shot the animal recently in Kilkenny in Ireland. It measures 48 inches and, although Jim didn't weigh it, probably tops the scales at more than 30 pounds. He shot it with a Remington 300 in 223. 2020 set a new record for background checks and new firearm owners in the States. The AmmoLand website says more than 8 million people bought guns for the first time last year. They made up about 40% of gun purchases. There were nearly 40 million NICS background checks in 2020, 40% more than the record set in 2019. The number of firearms sold in 2020 was a record 20.66 million. The total number of private firearms in America is now at about 462 million. And finally, an Italian shooter had a shock when she missed a charging wild boar. In a film that's going viral on the continent, the shooter in Sardinia fails to kill the charging wild boar and is forced to hit it with her gun as it goes for her. She shouts, "Go away and get off," then it turns and runs. Then she shouts at nearby shooters, "What could I do?" and "I couldn't reload." You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Now, before we look at what we are going to do with all the game birds that haven't found their way into a game pie, here is a word from Swarovski. So pheasants everywhere and not a gun bus in sight. What's the plan to manage the birds, the countryside and public perception? News that we can go pheasant shooting in England during the January lockdown has gladdened the hearts of Fieldsports Channel viewers. It's only walked up, and that's what Tom Davies, who helps out on this shoot in Devon, is doing today.
Yeah, it's just, we can only do what we can do. You know, this virus, we can't, there's no one trying to change or make your own rules. You just got to abide by it and just do what you can do. It's just nice to be out in the fresh air still and do what we can. So we phoned up the keeper and just, as our daily exercise. First of all, you don't just go straight in with I want to come shooting on your land. It works both ways. If you can help the gamekeeper out and do, anything from cleaning feeders to putting feeders out, bringing feeders in, filling up bags of wheat, it's all a big help to them. And as a return, you may get some shooting. It's always a good way to get in the door, really.
Of course, walked up shooting is not going to account for every bird on the ground, and shoots are taking a variety of approaches.
So here they've got catches out now, and they are catching up cocks and hens. All the hens are going onto game farms, so they will be used for the eggs for rearing this year, and then those hens will be moved on again as egg layers to shoots. So it's a big cycle, so they do get reused. The cockbirds, they will be caught up, and then they're going to be put into a particular valley, and they'll be summered there, and they'll be fed all summer, and they'll be used for the following season. So they're not dispatching any pheasants here, so they are all staying on the ground, apart from the hen birds which go into the game farms. I hear of other shoots, they are catching and dispatching, but they are going into supermarkets, they're going into butchers, they're all going into the food chain, and they're all lead-free, which is great.
So there's a silver lining. In Bedfordshire, Paul Childerley runs 2 shoots and is doing much the same thing.
We're going to catch up the hens on the larger shoot, and I've got somebody who wants a few hundred hens, which you're using for breeding for this season, come in. And then the excess with the partridges, the cocks and the extra hens, we're going to actually transfer to the other shoot, because the other shoot's actually a big woodland with arable fields around the outside, and they're established, so you're not going to get the crop damage over there at all. And what we'll do is we'll put the feeders in the woods, and then we'll draw them out, because they're basically naturally they'll draw to the edges of the woods as the spring arrives and they start to want to breed, and feed them through the summer. Not feeding enough, probably like May time. You tend to do that anyway. I'm not looking to get loads of wild birds, but if we can carry a few of them through the summer and be sort of like ready for next season, fingers crossed.
Tom explains how they catch up pheasants on this shoot.
The way to do it here, if you start feeding in a particular area, the birds will start coming to that feeding point, and you can make up like fencing panels of chicken wire, and you'll have a way in. They'll come into the feed, and pheasants will they work their way around a wire. So when the funnel comes in, they'll walk round it, but they haven't got much of a brain to actually go back through that funnel the way they come in, so they tend to go in there. And the gamekeepers will check those traps twice a day.
Now, you may notice that with driven game shooting over, standards have slipped, especially in the gun department.
Not the ideal gun for game shooting, but I am doing a walked up rough day shooting today, so semi-automatic is, I do a lot of vermin control, and it's my go-to gun for that. Obviously, if I'm doing a game day, it's my over and under. But this is my chosen gun for rough shooting, vermin control, everything, and it's the Browning Maxus.
Of course, it doesn't hit everything that gets up, such as this pigeon, but that may be Tom more than the gun. As we continue our walk around the shoot, we put up a woodcock, which Tom leaves, then he gets a chance at his brace.
They're in great condition, both up and fat, plenty of meat on them, which is great, strong flyers. As you can see, it's a Kansas cross, this one, you can see the different colouring. But yeah, both healthy birds, been feeding on wheat and also maize. And they get a bit of sped fun with the maize, but there's also maize up in the cover strips. So they do feed on that as well. They'll flatten bits now and then so that they get the cobs, and they love pecking away at that. So we'll pluck these birds, we may fillet one off, take the fillets off one of them and do like fajitas or something like that. We'll probably do that with one of them, then the other one, pluck whole bird, dress it out, and then maybe wrap it in some bacon and roast. Nice bit of roast pheasant, can't beat that. Crispy bacon on top, it's great.
Sounds delicious. And if you want to know more about Tom's views on the Maxus, please watch our film on Field Tester, link in the description below. A tough time for everyone, but everyone pulling together to find a way through. Now from the big skies to the even bigger world of hunting and shooting on YouTube, it's Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. Film of the week comes from Dave Carey, who is out with countryside champion Lord Botham on the Mulgrave Shoot in Yorkshire. Thanks to Alexander Laver for pointing me to the Danger TV channel, which seems to have nabbed lots of Jim Shockey episodes from Outdoor Channel. This one is part one of a two-parter where Jim hunts in Pakistan. As Alexander says, it shows conservation and hunting going hand in hand. Here's a film from summer last year, and I am running it because its maker Eddie Tunstall from the Somerset Hunters has a new venture with Johnny Carter from the Gunshot Botley and Lloyd Pattinson. They have started a new podcast called The Broken Gun, which you can search for on Spotify. Tok Portfleet is out after geese in the Netherlands again. This time Egyptian geese are the main aim, and yes, he admits he needs a haircut as badly as David does. Anthony Ovini from Ovini Expeditions usually climbs the great mountains of Asia. Now in lockdown he has to confine himself to the slightly smaller mountains of Europe. This is mouflon hunting in France. The guys from Wild Serbia are out after foxes with the 223, this time with friends Laki and Vukasin in a mixture of Serbian and some English. Our own coding king Owen Morrill from Colorado, tagline "Will code for ammo," has come across these guys. Night Crew from Texas, who do night predator hunting with lamps, including calling feral hogs up to their truck with a spotlight. See it to believe it. And finally, it's my favourite Christmas special, now committed to YouTube. Mortimer and Whitehouse Gone Christmas Fishing, filmed above Barnard Castle and Eggleston Hall, based around the lovely Craythorne Arms and organised by Ollie Shepherd from flyfishingyorkshire.co.uk. That's it for this week. I have put all these films into a playlist for you. Click on the eye symbol top right or check this film's description. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, that's it for this week. If you haven't done so, please whiz over to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click like us on Facebook and on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and best of all, pop your email address into our register page and we'll contact you about this show. Fieldsports Britain, it's at 7 p.m. UK time every Wednesday. And this has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.